All right, so today I'm going to teach you how to install a light switch. It's right over my left shoulder. I already installed it, but I videotaped it, and I'm going to show you how I did it. That is my basement door right there. So when you go into the basement, it's pitch black in there, and you have to kind of feel around for that string hanging from that little light bulb, and it's terrible. You can trip, you can get hurt. So it's just easy to flip the switch when you walk in there, and then when you leave, you close the door and you shut the switch off. Way more convenient, and I think everybody knows about pulling that string. Sometimes the string breaks and it's not good. So I'm going to show you the tools and what you need to do, and this will probably take you about a half hour max, and that includes cutting the hole in the sheetrock, which is super simple to do. And I hope you enjoy, and please subscribe to me, please, I beg you. Yeah, you click on it right now. Okay, so we need a pair of pliers, screwdriver, wire strippers, an old workbox. I got a single pole light switch, tape measure. This right here, that's a keyhole saw. That is for cutting sheetrock, and of course a plate. And this is a 2-gang box. You can put 2 switches in there, and then I always use my drill. Okay, so you put your box against the wall, put a level on the top, so make sure it's level. You want it to be 48 inches on center of the box. That's a typical switch. And you just trace around it with a pencil. So you don't want to trace around the top, these ears right here. All you're going to do is trace around just the actual box itself. Because this air and this air is what supports it. How does it stay in the wall? Well, you put a screwdriver or Phillips on these screws right here, and when you start to screw it in, it tightens up. These little guys flip up, and that is what supports it. You can kind of see them on both ends right here. So you can put this box in either way, this way or that way. It doesn't even matter. But I already pushed out one of these tabs right here, and that's where the wire is going to go in. So you're going to push this. You're going to push this wire right in here, and make sure there is no power. You double, triple check that. Okay, so now I'm going to take it. So when you're pushing it in, you don't want those ears to be down. You want to push them up. Push it in. As you can see, it fits nice. So you absolutely have to make sure that these wires are dead. I checked them with the voltmeter. It is absolutely dead. So I take my wire strippers, and this is 14 gauge wire, and I put it in the little 14 slot. So this does 10 to 22 gauge. So it does a lot of different wires. And electricians love these. It's just a lot easier, especially if you're doing a lot of outlets all day. Okay, so you get your wires stripped. Best way to do this, take your pliers, put it at the very, very end like that, and you're just gonna curl it. That's all you're gonna do. Then I put my pliers on the back, and I just rotate it. You get like a little candy cane, a little C. And this takes years of practice to get really good with these, because there's a certain look you want. And you know, when you put these on, you're gonna, like my last how to install electrical outlet, you're gonna put them around the screw clockwise. And we wanna do the ground, which is super important. Okay, so here's my switch. So all that's happening here is the power's going out and coming back. And this is just a connection. If I touch these two, if this was live and I touched these wires together, the lights would come on. So all this switch is doing is just doing this. Just connecting them, disconnecting. That's all it is. So it doesn't matter which one goes to what screw, because it's just making a connection. So you can put the white at the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. But always, 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 you always want to ground first. Most important thing. So I put my ground on. Okay, so I always attach the neutral first. That's just always been my habit. And you can see this little guy, and you just go around the screw. See how nice that fits? Look at that. And I use my thumb, and I just tighten it down. So you always want to go clockwise around the screw. And same thing with the black. And all the switch is doing is just breaking the connection of electricity between the black and the white. Okay. So sometimes you can wrap tape around it, electrical tape. This is a plastic box. I don't think it's really necessary, but if you want to be super sure. This ground, make sure it's nowhere near these two guys because it will short out when you push it in here. Just make sure it stays on its own side. And then I grab my drill, and you have two screws, one at the bottom and one at the top. I never go in all the way. I just kind of snug them up a little. It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right, there's the switch. Okay, grab the plate, put it on. You grab your 632 screws, righty-tighty. Never cross-thread them. Just make sure they go in. They should go in easy. If they're going in really hard, it's cross-threaded, and you will ruin the screw or the switch. And you do the top. And I always have my screws, these little slots right here, straight up and down. It just looks really professional. You don't want to go too tight, especially with a plastic plate. And that is how you install a light switch. The more you know.